Right, welcome everyone to another exciting video review of the DreamWorks Voltron Legendary Defender action figures Legendary Series. Blue Lion is today's video review, and unfortunately this is going to be the last video review for at least a day or two, because I'm still waiting on the Black Lion to get here. So anyway, with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at the Blue Lion's packaging. So here we are. It's basic. That's all I gotta say. And there's that nice V-cut going on there for the back of the packaging, which is very nice. It was also on those disc launchers for the yellow line in the previous video review. So I wasn't making that up. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but hey, maybe it is a V. Maybe it's just a design element. I don't know. Whatever. So, not much else to really say about the front of the packaging. So there's a nice picture of the Blue Lion from the show, which looks really nice on this. Form 16-inch Voltron. Of course, it's all decked out in a silhouette, except for the Blue Lion being revealed on the packaging for the Blue Lion, which makes sense. Onto the back of the packaging, and here's the brief summary bio in a sentence form for the Blue Lion. So go ahead and pause the viewer if you want to read it, or just wait until I'm done talking so we can move on. There we go. Fire Ice Ray. That's right. Now we finally get to the point of the ice missile pun. Yeah. So anyway, includes speeder with pilot Lance, which is definitely the Johnny Bravo of the team, if you know what I mean. 20 points of articulation. Sorry, 20 plus points of articulation, and it's definitely there. Definitely. And here's that nice picture that was a silhouette on the front of Voltron all built up. So as you can see, here is the final form of Voltron, and once again, the Blue Lion is being highlighted on the Blue Lion's packaging. And here's a nice look at the emblem for the Blue Lion, which is supposed to be ice. Okay, whatever. And that's going to do it for the packaging. Let's take a look at the content of the packaging. So here is the product catalog, which we don't have to go through. If you want to see it, go to the first video that I reviewed of the Legendary Series of Voltron. It was the Red Lion. Here is the instruction manual for the Blue Lion, which I took a good look at just to see how I can combine the weapon onto the Blue Lion, because I kind of forgot. So that's going to do that. Let's go ahead and bring in the Blue Lion now. Get out of the picture. Here is the Blue Lion. Not bad. It's definitely an improvement over the last previous video review of the Yellow Lion, because the paint job was, gotta be honest, a little bit of a mess up with the Yellow Lion, but with the Blue Lion, it seems to be pretty good, except for one little gripe. There's a scuff mark right here. Right here. I don't know how well this is actually going to come out, but you can see it. It's right there, that big scuff. And yes, there is a little bit of a sloppiness to the black outline of the yellow eyes, so meh, whatever. A little bit of some chipping here, a little bit right there. The bottom teeth are not painted on the lower portion of the jaw for the Blue Lion. All the others have their teeth painted. The Blue Lion did not. I'm not sure about the reason under that, but whatever. Not much else to really show off here with the Blue Lion, so let's go ahead and get to the articulation. If I can stop hitting the tripod. Okay, so we got, once again, some nice up and down movement for the articulated neck of the Blue Lion. We do have a little bit of a left and right for the Blue Lion for the obvious tilting for the ankles of Voltron. The jaw, once again, opens up manually, and like all the other lions, closes instantly. Maybe not as strong as the Green Lion did, but still good enough. And I know it's a little bit of a drawback, considering that some people do like to display their lions with their mouths open. But again, if that really is a big nuisance to you, just take the spring out and be done with it. But then again, you're going to ruin your lion doing that. So anyway, onward to the articulation at the front legs. And we got a very nicely tight clicking joint. And then there's also a nice clicking joint for the knee joint of the front leg, and the paws are on nice clicking joints as well for the front legs. Nothing at the waist section, because obviously this is a leg piece and not the arm, so there's no elbow joints. So we do have some nice clicking joints for the back of the legs. We do have that hidden joint right there inside the leg. We also have one on the outside with nice clicking as well. And please let this be 2 and 2. Yes, it is. We do actually have nice clicking joints for the back paws of the back legs for the Blue Lion. Maybe not as good as the Yellow Lions, because you can kind of hear it and you kind of can't hear it. Not as good as the Yellow Lion, but still got the clicking motion, and I do appreciate that. Last portion of articulation, which I almost forgot in the Yellow Lion's review, is that there is a swivel cut for the tail of all lions, which basically is what I'm saying here. So yeah. And then, of course, the tail is nicely painted at the tip with that all-spark blue, the nice blue to match up with the blue plastic. Well, they know their paint colors, don't they? Everything seems to match up perfectly, especially the yellow, something that Hasbro can't get right with their Bumblebee Transformer figures. Pretty cool. Nice silver done for the diamond of the tip of the tail. And not much else to really say here, so let's go ahead and take a look at the accessories that this figure comes with. So here is Lance the Pilot in his sled, which looks okay. You know, it's obviously a black figure on a black seat that's been painted over at the front with blue to match up the Blue Lion, and nice windshield that's painted in that all-spark blue again. So what you can do with Lance, like all the other pilots of the Lions, is open up the compartment down here at the belly, put him in. Doesn't really lock into place like Hunk did, but you can close it back up, stays in there nicely secured. And now Lance is piloting his Blue Lion, which is very awesome. And then, of course, we've got, obviously, the play feature for the Blue Lion, which is this nice ice ray blaster thingamajig with some nice silver going on here. Lots of silver going on here. And I also like this going on here. That's pretty cool. That all-spark blue again. But, hey, it matches. It works. It's blue. So, yeah, ice. Pretty cool. And speaking of which, here is the ice ray itself. The actual missile is finally an ice weapon. So, what you can do, like all other missiles, is you can click it into place. And there's a button right here, and if you press it, it fires pretty good. One more demonstration at that. Pretty good. I wonder how far this would actually go, but what it's meant to do is it is supposed to latch to, you see these little clips here? And on this side here, the same thing. That's where this arm piece here is supposed to go. Kind of difficult to do at first, maybe even twice, but you can get it to line up just right. And it will stay in place, but at least on my figure, it is a little bit of an issue keeping one side clipped into place, and the other side will accidentally come out. So the fact that it's actually holding now is a blessing. So there we go. That's what it looks like on top of the Blue Lion, which, let me raise the camera so you can see it better. Looks really good, and it does match up perfectly with the Blue Lion. This looks like something that it would actually have in the cartoon if this was actually a real thing. So it does match up great. I do like that, but we don't need it now, as it plays no part in the last portion of this video review. But before we get to the actual limb portion of the transformation of the Blue Lion, let's do some quick side-by-side comparisons. So here is previously reviewed Yellow Lion, and as you can see, the legs are going to be the bigger portion of the lions throughout this series because, you know, they're legs. They make up the legs. Legs are big. They're bulky. They're supposed to be. Not as bulky as the Yellow Lion, but the Blue Lion does have a little bit of some bulk to itself. To show you off for a better similarity, let's bring in the Red Lion for comparisons, and as you can see, the Blue Lion does have a little bit more of a bulk, and I do like this portion here. That's nice. But yeah, real main difference going on is that the lions for the legs have more articulation at the head, which is a drawback to the arms, but I understand why that is. One more size comparisons. Let's bring in, obviously, the Green Lion, because it's the only one I haven't shown off on camera here with the Blue Lion. And they look pretty good together. They really do. So, And there's that, not much else to really say. Okay, so now that we got that portion out of the way for the video review, let's wrap this up with turning the blue line into the right leg of Voltron. Simple enough, start from the back here, grab the tail, this really long tail, longer than the other lions, and just push it in, which is kind of difficult to do because it really feels like it's hitting a wall here and kind of curving in on itself, which is why it comes out warped, as you can see. That's probably the actuality that's going on there on the inside of this joint. So if I can get it to go in again, I should have not pulled it out just to show you that, but yeah, this is the hardest part about transforming this lion, but once you get it, it stays in there nicely. As you can see, it's not popping out. I'm actually pulling on this one. It doesn't want to pop out, so it's in there good. Transforming the legs, like all the other lions, it's basic. Bring these down already since there's no joint here to cause any hindrance in transformation. Take your blue lion's head, flip it up as if you're breaking its neck, and then push in the neck, so you're definitely breaking its neck. Not really, but you know what I mean. And what you want to do next is bring this up, bring that down, and make sure that these feet are flat with the head of the blue lion. They are going to be the heel spurs for Voltron. And bada bing, bada boom, that's really it. Not much else to say. That is the right leg for Voltron. So can I recommend the blue lion? Well, like all the other lions, yes I can. The articulation is great, the sculpting is great, the paint job on the blue lion is much better than it was for the yellow lion. It doesn't have any issues like the green lion when it comes to any of the joints, or the fact that it's squeaking instead of ratcheting at the neck joint. And I really do appreciate the quality getting better on these figures. I know there's going to be a difference. Results will vary, especially considering that these figures are in mass quantities. They are not just limited, so there's going to be a lot of produced figures with the same issue with the molding, probably weakening in some areas, but hopefully it's something that will be fixed. Hopefully it will be just my issue, not your issue. But if it happens, just be forewarned. I mean, it's not the end of the world. I did fix up the green lion at this part of the video. I can show this off since I'm basically done. Let me bring it in just so I can give you a status update on it. So, yes. Let me take this off. It's not squeaking anymore. And you can hear it's ratcheting, but it is actually a weak ratchet because the teeth are wearing thin, unfortunately. There's not much that I can really say about this portion here. This is actually still kind of weak, but it's actually holding right now. And I'm sure some of you want to know, how did the missile come out? That was one big problem I actually had with this toy, and it would not launch. It would not even stay in the place. Well, as you can see, now it is. So yeah, I had to open this portion up, but this front piece here, this different plastic, rather than what's painted here, is actually a separate piece. It's glued on originally, so you will have to take like an X-Acto knife and go around and get it to open up, but I got it to the point where it just came undone on its own. And I added a little dab of super glue in there just to hold it a little tighter on, so, you know, in case I have to get back in here and work with this, I can. But for what it is, yeah, basically you have to unscrew these three pieces here and make sure that you get this off, otherwise you can't get it open. And the spring came undone, that was one problem, but what was also the real issue is that this part here that pushes down on this gaping hole that will actually release the missile kind of broke off. I was right about that. So the missile firing gimmick was broken, but I got it glued back in place. And it seems to be holding pretty good, unless, of course, I'm cursed with the fact that sometimes when I say something's working, it will do the opposite on video. But it seems to be holding pretty good, as you can see. And, of course, now I can show you off that it fires. One more time for proof. And there you go. So, yeah, the green lion is fixed. Now, if only we could do something about painting these missiles their proper colors instead of being all ice missiles for the lions. I'm just saying, and I'm just joking around. I'm probably not going to do that at all. Still, though, great lions. I totally recommend them. I mean, Voltron Legendary Defender has not been a disappointment in the cartoon and the toy line so far. I've had my nitpicks and a little bit of some complaints, but it's, like I said, not going to be a massive issue for all the lions here. You are going to have good ones, you are going to have bad ones. If you do have a bad one that really bugs the crap out of you, take it back, find another one, and if you can't find one, just get a refund and try your luck another day if it comes down to it. But having said that, I'm done with this video review. I think I've said enough and then some about the rest of the lines of this team. Questions, comments, you know what to do. Leave it down below in the comment section of the video. I will be back shortly with the Black Lion review. Guess it all depends on whether or not it actually shows up tomorrow, which is what I'm hoping, so fingers crossed. If you like today's video review of the Blue Lion and the status update of the Green Lion fix, hit the thumbs up button. And if you haven't already, why not hit that subscribe button, because YouTube's going to force me to say it anyway. If you want to see more video reviews just like the one you're seeing here today, or if you want to see the upcoming concise video review of all 4 lions and the Black Lion when it gets here. Until then, this is the one and only Red's Power signing off, saying thank you very much for watching this, and I will see you whenever you see me, even if it's not tomorrow. Whenever the Black Lion gets here. I can't tell you when, because even I don't know.